The gigantic government sucks. Pursuit of happiness radio is deluxe. Liberty and freedom will make you smile. The pursuit of happiness on your radio dial. Just as cheeseburgers and liberty fries, it's pursuit of happiness time.
All right, so apparently Florida decided not to outlaw first cousin marriage. My favorite part of every Florida wedding is when they say, "Till meth do us part." It always gets me. I always cry a little when I hear that. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster. Comedian Jesse Peyton coming up in just a short amount of time. But before he gets here, I want to start off with this. The FBI's latest performance on terrorism is kind of like that overpaid coach who keeps yelling, "We're on high alert," while the other team scores 4 unanswered touchdowns in 3 weeks. You know the type, like big talks, 0 results, and when you ask what went wrong, they just shrug and they point to the rule book. I'm probably already confusing you. Folks, you're probably as fed up with the federal government's endless excuses as I am. I think everybody is. The FBI just loves to lecture us about threats to democracy, but apparently they've decided monitoring actual terrorists fresh out of prison isn't part of their job description. Shocking, I know. In the last 3 weeks alone, we've had 4 Islamic terror attacks. Barely a footnote in the news. We're still getting updates on Nancy Guthrie, though, thank God. Okay, so you're not going to believe this. A guy named Mohammed Belair Jalloh, I know, shocking, right? That's an Islamic terrorist? Who would have thought to monitor a guy named Mohammed? Did 8 years in federal prison for plotting to murder U.S. military personnel on behalf of ISIS. He gets out on unsupervised release in late 2024. It wasn't even that long ago. And what does the FBI do? Well, they don't do anything, essentially. Not a zilch, not even a casual drive-by to see if he's still into that whole Allahu Akbar and open fire hobby that he had. Then on March 12th, 2026, Mohammed strolls into the ROTC classroom at the Old Dominion University in Virginia and yells the magic phrase, abracadabra, no, Allahu Akbar. 1 instructor dead, 2 wounded, then he gets taken out. At least there's a happy ending to this. Classic case of releasing a jihadist and going full circle back to jihad. So the FBI, we are told, the FBI does not oversee supervised release from prison. That would be up to the federal district courts, excuse me. So again, I ask, did you monitor this guy at all? Did you keep up with him? You check his AOL Instant Messenger profile, tail him, check his phone, figure out if he's doing mosque visits? They don't do any of that. The same script. Refer you to the federal district court. It's the government equivalent of, hey, it's above my pay grade. What do you want from me? Talk to a lawyer, rinse and repeat. Now, here's the kicker. None of this is new. This has been going on for a while, guys. Back in the day, the FBI actually watched terrorists after we released them. We actually did that once upon a time. Under the old regime back in the day, the FBI was busy. Okay, there's a bad example. They were a little busy rounding up January 6 grandmas for walking through the Capitol like it was an open house tour, and then they were investigating Catholics for attending Latin Mass. But they think there was a time, a really long time ago, when we've never kept up with terrorists after we don't do that at all. Maybe that would be a new thing to do. Maybe that could be something this isn't incompetence, guys. It's institutional malpractice wrapped up in bureaucratic red tape. The feds have spent years building the most bloated surveillance state in history. Phone taps, data hoovers, facial recognition. We don't even use it. It's like buying an expensive new vehicle and parking it in the garage. I don't know anyone who would do that. But I digress. But enough about that. That's how I wanted to start today's show. Apparently in D.C., the only thing more reliable than government non-answers is the next terrorist that they didn't see coming. You can't be on high alert if you're not on alert at all. And we're just getting warmed up. You know who just walked in? A guy that hates buying new vehicles. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Peyton, looking at his phone. Are you texting the FBI right now to ask them if they're investigating terrorists? Is that what you're doing over there?
No, I'm virtually making salat. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, Allahu Akbar to you, too. Doesn't Assalamu alaikum sound like it's an Italian cheese or something?
It does. And when we were in jail, the people who were non-Muslim would make fun of the Muslims because the greeting in Arabic is Assalamu alaikum, to which they would reply, Wa alaikum salam, which just in a direct translation means peace to you and then peace also unto you.
Sounds like Star Wars talk, like the Sand People.
It would be Assalamu alaikum, and we would make fun of them, and we would say, so Malakim bought a Lincoln, and then so Lincoln bought a lack. And yeah, so it was pretty, it was derogatory, but we loved it.
Were the Muslims that you were in, for those that don't know, Jesse is a failed criminal. He was a teenage criminal. He did his time.
Failed is subjective. Failed is subjective. I don't know. I did the time.
You did the time?
Yes.
Was that worth it, though? Did you learn anything? I noticed you've not gone back.
Yeah, I've not gone back. I learned a lot, man. I learned that that having casual sex with women is way better than showering with criminals.
Yeah, okay. I believe that that's probably true.
It's life-changing, actually, literally and figuratively.
Jesse, you are a reformed criminal. I think you're a great example of how people can people can change.
Yeah, the criminals loosely. I was 17 years old. I made one mistake. I broke the law one day in my life, Kenny, so it wasn't like it was a pattern of behavior, but I did mess up, and those signs that say don't mess with Texas, they mean it.
Yeah, they're very strict on crime here. So you met Muslims in prison. Were they the brown or the black kind?
They were definitely the black kind. There was no, I didn't know any brown ones in there. They did let them have carpets, though.
Really?
Yeah.
They let them have, so it's...
Yeah, it's great. I thought it would be an escape risk because they could fly over the razor wire.
Hey, it's me, the Donald. You're listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio.
I don't want to hear your voice on the radio again.
Hey, kids, you're watching a recording session right now of me and my buddy Jesse preparing segments for this afternoon's afternoon drive on KPRC Radio. Sound off in the chat room if you want. There's a chat section here. I like when you guys leave comments during the live broadcast. Feel free if you want to. Share this video if you don't mind. And just know that we're doing this for a reason today. We have a little comedy show coming up. Let me throw that up on the screen here. Take a gander at that. Jesse, why don't you explain this?
Right here, couples therapy in, this is Baton Rouge at the Queen Casino. Thursday, March 26th, me and Kenny are going to be doing a show called Couples Therapy. Guys, you listen to Kenny every day. Kenny lifts. You know what else Kenny does? Is he gives relationship expert advice. And we're going to be bringing that to Baton Rouge. We were just in Denham Springs, sold-out show, and they asked us to come back. So we're going to be right down the road, Baton Rouge, at the Queen Casino doing Couples Therapy, a relationship-themed comedy show hosted by your two favorite middle-aged, white, Caucasian, libertarian men. And we're going to have a great time. It's a great, funny show, crowd interactive, crowd participation. Queen Casino this Thursday, March 26th. Tickets are available anywhere you hear this. JesseIsFunny.com, my website, Life Laugh Comedy, Kenny's website, Kenny's OnlyFans. You can get it everywhere.
Absolutely. Of course we're on OnlyFans. Stand by. We're going back on. All right, so I guess a man in England, in the UK, pulled a car hundreds of feet using his testicles. So I'm not the only one who hates to spring for a tow truck. You know, I don't want to have to pay money I don't have to pay for, you know?
Yeah, that's a camel tow truck.
It is, yes. Yes, it is. Jesse, you eat meat. Am I correct? Sorry to go from that to this. It's a weird...
Hey, Jesse's a felon. Hey, Jesse, you eat meat.
That's right.
Great segue, Kenny Webster.
Welcome back with former Texas State Penitentiary inmate / what do you do again? You're a comedian. You know my favorite story about Jesse being an ex-criminal, and I love telling this story.
Oh,
we're in Hattiesburg doing a comedy show. It's a big venue where they do different things, and so the comedy show ends, and then at night they had a dance party. Our audience is like people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. We get done, and immediately all of our people leave, our fans, comedy fans, whatever, followers leave, and people come in for the dance party. We're all in the back in the green room. It's me, the promoter, Stu, Jesse. We're all hanging out. And Jesse has a young woman up front who's a merch girl who is selling merchandise. And as we are all sitting there, someone from security comes in like, hey, Jesse, there's a bunch of guys out there. They're messing with your merch girl. She's selling T-shirts and hats, koozies, that kind of thing. And we don't even have a chance to react. Jesse flies out the door. And so the rest of us come running up behind him. Moments later, we run up behind there, and there is a large, obese black woman wearing a police officer's uniform. I'm going to assume that in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, they hire black women, large, obese black women, to be cops. And I thought that was great.
DEI meets DEA.
Because they're inclusive, right, exactly. And so the Jesse has scared away a group of young men in their early 20s. And he's now dealing with the police. The police are mad at Jesse. And this black lady who's a cop looks at Jesse and she's like, you can't act like that in Hattiesburg. I'll take you downtown right now. I'll arrest you. And Jesse goes, I'm working here. You're working here. This merchandise girl is working here. A bunch of children come in here and start harassing my employee. I'm going to stand up and defend her. I don't care what you say. You think I'm afraid of doing a night in county? I did 8 years at state penitentiary. And with that, this older, fat black lady who's a cop looks at Jesse, decides she's not going to call his bluff. She's like, I believe him. I never seen anything like it in my life. The cop turns around and leaves. She doesn't want to deal with the paperwork or the hassle of arresting Jesse. She walks. I was like, this is amazing. There's nobody else I know who would have been told to stand down by a cop that wouldn't have done it. But Jesse Peyton looks at this big black lady in a cop uniform, tells her, go ahead and arrest me. I did 8 years in penitentiary. You think I care about spending a night in county? And she goes, never mind. That's fine. I'm out of here.
You know how well that works, Kenny? Not just to cops, because, I was in the wrong. I was very, very aggressive towards that guy that was out of line. But I'll do that a lot when guys will get loud and bark and yada, yada, yada. And then I'll just tell them, hey, I spent 8 years in prison. I'm not worried about a night in jail for knocking you out. And then they'll be like, oh, this guy sounds very serious. And then it's a good way to de-escalate. But here's the thing, Kenny, I can't take a punch, dude. I had a bunch of fights in prison. I lost 98% of them because I have a glass jaw. That's why so I got these tattoos and muscles because I don't want to have to rely on having to fight.
I did not know you could use that line. That's a lie. For my mostly middle class, white, middle American male audience of podcast followers and people, Walton and Johnson fans and Pursuit of Happiness radio fans, none of us realized you could just tell a cop, I did 8 years in prison, and they're going to be like, all right, say no more.
They use the threat of taking you to jail to de-escalate and get you to comply. And when you take that away, and make no mistake, guys, in spite of my past criminal, that was 25 years ago when I caught my case. However, I'm 100% pro LEO, pro law enforcement, pro cop, and pro obedience. When police pull you over, comply, obey, and just get your butt down the road. Don't get yourself in no trouble. So I'm not anti-cop. I'm quite the opposite. However, not all cops are perfect, and when you're in the right, you're in the right, and that's just I feel free to use that, guys.
I am very much pro cop as well, but I also call balls and strikes, and this is not a topic we were going to discuss today on the show. But are you keeping up with Afro Man and what's been going on with him lately?
I saw the title, but I scrolled past it. Normally, when I see Afro, I keep going.
Whoa, Jesse.
No, because I've got that good hair, Kenny, so I don't have to deal with the products.
All right, so Afro Man is a rapper who is popular for what song? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got 2 zigzags and a pack of weed or something like that.
Okay, the song was called Because I Got High. That was what
That's
it was.
right.
I was going to go to sleep, but then I got high.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get a job. Afro Man has been, for those who don't remember the rapper Afro Man, he has been in court all week, and here's why. He lives up in Ohio, kind of like Dave Chappelle. He lives with the poor whites. I don't know why these black guys with a lot of street cred moved out to rural Ohio, but that's where they moved. And so Afro Man owns what looks to me like a modest ranch, or he has some land. And apparently some time ago, police got a warrant from a judge. They raided his home. And they found nothing. They were looking for drugs or something. There was nothing there. Afro Man, being a rapper and a black guy and what have you, has cameras all over the place. He uses the cameras to create music videos about the cops who raided his home. It says some pretty wild stuff about him. Let me put it up on the screen here. Here is one of the police officers testifying.
So you're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with your wife?
Yes.
And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
Ha! It's the wrong answer for a defamation case. You should have said he should have said no, but he didn't.
Wait, you don't know if your wife's cheating on you or not?
You don't know if your wife's cheating on you.
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question because you said we don't know.
That's
Been with that woman since middle school.
I know.
I would hope she wouldn't. But you know what?
for the record, in a defamation case, it's valid.
For the record, I want to know, when he's been with his wife since she was in middle school, was he also in middle school or was he a teacher?
No. We don't know. We don't know that. Now, okay, so anyway, Afro Man makes a rap song about what is being discussed in this court case. And unfortunately, and look, I'm pro cop. This is very funny.
Yeah, Afro Man is gonna do ya. Afro Man is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Brian Newland is a flag. William is a pedophile. If I'm telling folks the truth, how come I have to go to trial? Newland sexting kids, that's true. Now he's stealing my money too. My proof's on the internet. Afro Man will bring it to ya. Afro Man is gonna do ya. Afro Man is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the end.
Don't worry, there's more. There's more.
Tasha Chamblin is a confidential informant. Roy Gabbard is the judge that signs fictitious warrant. This whole situation is totally their fault. Don't rape me, don't get videoed and caught.
So you get the idea, right? So
This is so good on so many levels. This is the best diss track since Eminem battled Clarence into 8 Mile. This is amazing. And he wore here's the thing. Look at, he did the U.S. patriotic American flag sunglasses plus the suit plus the tie, and then he does this to the tune of Glory, Glory, Hallelujah.
look, I'm pro cop. I am always I'm give the cops the benefit of the doubt here, but they raided his home. They didn't find anything. He was able to identify who all these cops were, and then as you could see, he made AI generated footage of them looking ridiculous. He figured out these police already had scandals of their own. He made a song about it. Again, I'm pro cop, but I'm just calling balls and strikes, dude.
Hey, I was going to make the video. Instead, I got high. But he didn't get high. He did it. Don't mess with Afro Man. Holy crap.
This is Kenny Webster's Pursuit of Happiness. Dig it?
Hey, Jesse, what the heck are we doing here today? What's going on right now?
Man, we're hanging out, man. I love coming into the studio. I love that we're going to be in Baton Rouge this Thursday. I'm excited about that. And then we're going to spend the whole weekend together because we're going to be in Metairie also on Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday, Metairie at the Cork Wine and Martini Bar doing Right Side of Comedy, couples therapy at the Queen Casino. It's going to be a great time. And isn't Steve and Christine coming out too?
Yeah, Steve is going to host for us on Thursday nights. So he will be at the show that we're doing in Baton Rouge. And then Friday night, you and I are going to Metairie.
That's right. We're going to be doing shows at the Cork Wine and Martini Bar where we are very, very famous.
And this show that we're doing, it has been banned.
It has been. We've been canceled across the country.
We've been canceled. People have gotten in. They don't want you to see this show because it's too right-wing, it's too red-pilled, it's too based.
Well, we come with very controversial facts. Like at one point in my set, I say there's 2 genders and that people lose their mind. Yeah.
That is very upsetting.
And ladies, if you don't like that, it takes a lot of balls to tell that joke.
That's true. Yeah, no, he's right about that.
Very, very ballsy.
It always has. Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going back on. Hang on. Okay, so experts say flyers, people flying, should avoid water on airplanes because the water is filled with bacteria. Unless you're flying on Spirit, then I got to think that's the least of your concerns. I wouldn't wear probably Frontier too. It's not really
Unless Sully is your pilot, then you don't have to worry about water on the air. Never mind.
Sully Sullenberger.
Yes.
That was topical.
See how he landed in the Hudson and there was water on the water on the plane? Water. See how I did a pun.
He seems like a cool guy to me.
He does.
Sully always seemed like with the mustache.
Right. If Tom Hanks plays you in a movie, you're a cool guy.
I know that what I'm about to say is going to make me sound racist, but when I'm getting on an airplane and I'm first boarding and I could see into the cockpit and I could see the elbow and I could see it's like an older white guy, it always makes me feel better for some reason.
No, absolutely.
It's not fair.
And I love how many times a day you lead with, this is going to make me sound racist.
It's true. Yes, okay. There are a few things that make me sound racist.
Yeah,
but,
racism.
like my mouth, for example. But other than that,
well, you know what makes me sound racist? Saying my beliefs out loud.
You know what makes me sound racist? Just giving you an objective reaction to today's news, unfortunately.
Yeah. Data. You know what else is racist? Data. History.
FBI crime statistics. It's awkward, uncomfortable, obviously. But okay, all that being said, let's go from that to this, everybody, real quick. We'll get back to your comments shortly. People have been leaving comments. If you want to leave comments in the chat room, you can. People are chatting it up. They're chatters. But all that being said, we have a challenger. We don't know who the Republican candidate's going to be for senator yet, but we do know who the Democrat candidate's going to be. It's this guy, James Tallarico. Now, with a name like James Tallarico, he sounds cool, right? He sounds Italian.
When I read it, I read it as James Tallywhacker.
Yeah, well, that's probably a little more accurate to the actual character. Here is James Tallarico. Wearing a COVID mask. And as you can see, he's in a room with people that are not wearing COVID masks. If you look behind him, to those of you listening on the radio, we're watching a video of James Tallarico doing a town hall back in what was probably 2020 or 2021. And at the time, he wasn't running for senator. He was running for state legislatures, a very progressive candidate. And here's his position on eating meat and climate change. Go ahead, James. Tell us how you feel.
We have, I think, heard more and more issues of animal welfare. I think not just because it's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do, but also it's, as all of you know, necessary to fight climate change. It is now existential that we try to reduce our meat consumption and that we try to respect animals in all aspects of society.
Now, I don't know about you, but just looking at this guy, I actually think he does put meat in his mouth. I think he's a meat consumer. I think he takes meat. I think he enjoys meat full-throatedly. What do you think?
Full-throatedly is so funny.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm mixed. I'm half white and I'm half-throatedly.
He loves meat. Go ahead.
So I am proud to say that our campaign has officially become a non-meat campaign. So we are only buying vegan products from our local vegan businesses.
Now, does anybody actually think this guy? Come on. This guy, not Beto O'Rourke, who ate Whataburger, not Colin Allred, who played in the NFL. This guy's going to be the next senator of Texas. This is the next Democrat challenger. This guy's more of a beta bitch than the last two guys.
He does. You do look like Beto O'Rourke's little sister.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it's Beto O'Rourke's cross-dressing sister. James Tallarico is this guy. I don't know if you know that much about him, Jesse. He claims he went to seminary school, which means he's a Bible student. And he finds things in the Bible, and he twists it around, and he goes, look, this thing I found in Deuteronomy makes me think that trans is okay. And God asked for Mary's consent before inseminating her, with the Blessed Virgin Mary with the baby. You get how the Bible goes. I guess it wasn't, and it sounded weird how he said that, wasn't it? It's like, that proves that abortion's okay, or whatever it may be. It feels, I know.
Two things. One, the fact that you say the word seminary and then you feel quickly the need to define it because I'm in studio. Seminary, Jesse, no, it doesn't mean that. And then God asking Mary for consent is something I want to write a 15-minute comedy bit on. That's hilarious.
Well, he's built a political career around it. He says because God asked for Mary's consent before he impregnated her with the Son of God, with Jesus Christ, that was somehow proof that abortion was cool.
Yeah, that's what God said. He was like, hey, Mary, listen here. I'm down if you're down, but it is your body, your choice.
Seems a little odd, right? I don't know.
Right.
And therefore, and if abortion's okay, then trans must be okay. I don't know where he gets trans. He
right.
said Jesus is non-binary. God is non-binary. He said God is a non-binary fluid. No, it is called Father, right? We say it's in the Bible.
Right.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's in the Bible.
Hey, I don't know. It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So isn't he trinary? I'll stop. And I'll see myself out.
Anyway, I'm Catholic, so I'll just wash my hands of all of this and touch my cross, which is burning right now for some reason. I wonder why. This is weird. The cross around my neck feels very hot all of a sudden. I don't know why. This won't shock you at all, Jesse. Here's a new study that just came out. Welfare use among non-citizens in the United States is shockingly higher than those born in America, according to a recent study. But then also, what's interesting about this, the study has determined a few things. Non-citizens get welfare at double the rate of Americans, but the top immigrants getting welfare, non-citizens from Latin America, sub-Saharan Africa, and the Middle East, have the highest rates of welfare use. It's not people from Asia, or at least not the Far East. It's not people from Europe. It doesn't seem to be people. It's from a very specific place. They're from like either Guatemala, the Congo, or Pakistan, basically. And those guys are Somalia. They're getting a lot of welfare. And you're paying for that, Jesse, right now. Your money. Can you afford to pay for all their stuff right now?
Now, Kenny, and that was a nice jab. But yeah, it's wild that we have veterans that are homeless on the street, and then we're taking care of Somali pirates who traverse the whole 2,000 miles of land to be inland to take their piracy to Minnesota.
It is kind of amazing, but it's not just limited to that. I think part of the reason why we caught the Somalians doing it, and I know no one wants to hear this, they're not the brightest people. Specifically the people that, I don't mean all Somalians, but we seem to find that this is a culture of people where incest is, according to raw empirical data, according to objective data, higher. Cousin marriage is higher, right? The collective IQ of the nation is lower. Is it that they're more prone to being scam artists, or is it they're just not very smart?
I don't know. Well, I mean, Florida is the closest state to Somalia.
That's a good point. It's true.
They're also into the cousins, apparently. That's kind of a new thing. I don't know. It's easy to catch them though. When you got like Nick Shirley, and then the Somali daycare people are like, look at me. I am the daycare now.
Nick Shirley looks like a 20-year-old kid who just rolled out of bed and uncovered a multi-billion-dollar scheme involving these. I mean, I'm not trying to put any stink on him, but it's like he doesn't seem like the super sleuth. He didn't graduate from journalism school. He doesn't have a forensics investigation degree or anything like that. And he took down their whole empire of criminality. What does that say about them?
It's like David with Goliath. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It's like David with Goliath, but much whiter.
Yeah.
You've got Kenny Webster's Pursuit of Happiness on KPRC 950.
Hey, you're watching a live stream right now of a recording session taking place in my studio with I think the funniest comedian in Houston, Texas, certainly one of the funniest comedians in Texas, which is a lot of comedians if you consider we got Joe Rogan here and who's another one? I don't know, somebody else, right? Ali Sadiqus.
There's a lot. Ali Sadiq's tremendous. Juan Villarreal's great. Billy D. Washington. There's a lot of local Houston comics that are.
But when you consider the other cities, what do you think's the best comedy city in Texas?
I mean, I say Houston as far as like organic growth, but as far as like the mecca of comedy now is clearly in Austin with Joe Rogan bringing the mothership, Tony Hinchcliffe with the #1 live podcast for comedy in the world. You know, every Monday night that shows bananas. And he's selling out theaters. They just sold out the Smart Financial, Madison Square Garden. It's crazy. And all of that is based in Austin. So people from Texas aren't having to go to California and New York anymore. They can just go down 290.
We're off the air right now, but for those who don't, we'll go back on the radio in just a minute. I just want to play something real quick because I don't know if this involves language or not. But first of all, if you're not one of the 330,000 people that follow Jesse is Funny, you should. I absolutely recommend it. Look at that. Look at that. Local left-wing firebrand Olivia Juliana follows you on there.
Hey, cool.
That's interesting. And Chad, there's Watch Chad. Chad follows you. But what I think is interesting is this. Kill Tony is one of the most popular comedy podcasts in America where upcoming comedians get to showcase themselves, and somebody stole one of your jokes.
Like you can't say shit anymore. Can't say retard anymore. Now you got to say Democrat.
You know, you can't say the word retard anymore. That's a new one. You have to say Democrat.
Joke thief. His name's Gus Swanda. And
show his following.
Gus has 300 followers. You have 300,000 followers. I would say you won for sure. But
well, the crazy thing here, in fairness, and I'm going to be very fair first. In fairness, the correlative between Democrat and retard is broadly accepted and widely distributed. So the joke isn't the most cerebral joke. I get that. However, I went viral where this video got 25 million views. So the ability for him to see it. And then I outed the guy on Instagram, and his retort was, he did this joke in 2015, which the guy has 300 followers. So I don't know how he was doing comedy for the last 11 years, but he said he did that, and then he graciously told me I would have never seen him do the joke, so I'm okay for telling it.
You're okay for telling his joke, which he claims to have written.
That I wrote.
To be fair, sometimes people do come up with the same jokes.
Absolutely. Happens all the time. Every day.
You're friends with a really funny comedian who recently headlined the Improv.
Alan Adams.
Alan's hilarious. Alan has a great joke about putting himself on the sex offender registry because he doesn't want kids coming near him.
Right.
Which is a very funny joke. He's like,
hilarious.
I'm not a convicted sex offender. I put myself on the list just so my neighbor's kids would quit coming over here. And I was watching old clips of Doug Stanhope today, for totally unrelated reasons. Did you know the comedy club in Brisbane, Arizona, the owner of it, which is where Doug Stanhope's from, just found out he had cancer, got in his car, drove up to Alaska, and murdered his ex-wife. So now Doug is on social media warning people that this guy's coming to kill him. People in Alaska. The guy ended up dying. Anyway, I got a side quest there to the story.
Yeah.
I'm watching Doug Stanhope clips earlier today because he's one of my favorite comedians, and he has a bit about putting himself on the sex offender list. And it's a different joke, but the premise is similar.
Right.
These things do happen sometimes, but I still contest that guy told the joke exactly how you told it. I think he stole the joke.
Yeah, and I mean, whether he did or he didn't, you know, a lot of these guys, he's not a comic. This guy has 300 social media followers. He's never been paid to do comedy. He says he's opened for some big acts. I doubt it. However, you know, you go on Kill Tony and you get 1 minute and they'll pull anybody's name out of the hat. So you can go from, hey, I'm you know, homeless on the streets of Austin to I'm performing on the biggest platform in the comedy world is wild to give, you know, it's a huge platform.
You know, one of my producers has been on the show.
Oh, really?
I have a producer. Well, we used to have a producer here. He was a hilarious kid. He was so funny. His name's Trey Campbell.
I know Trey.
We used to call him Juggalo Trey. Juggalo Trey is autistic. He has a lot of developmental issues. I don't know how he was one of the worst producers we have ever had in the history of having producers here. He got it. He'd screw up the clock, which doesn't mean anything to the audience, but in radio, it's important to stay on the clock for commercial breaks and stuff. He'd mess it up all the time. He'd mess up going to commercial break, wouldn't hit the button, but he made us laugh. He was so funny when he was in here. So when I heard that he was moving off to Austin to go do stand-up comedy, I thought, well, he's not a good radio producer, but at least probably could make it as a comedian.
Yeah.
He could be the sidekick on some podcast.
He's done lots of comedy locally, too. Lots of comedy. Yeah, he's been at lots of open mics, lots of, like, secret group showcases. Yeah, very much so, yeah.
But
very funny guy.
He was on Kill Tony.
Yeah, he did do Kill Tony.
And
so I don't know. I mean, again, the dude said what I said verbatim. As a middle part of a bigger joke, just like I do. That's not the whole joke for me, obviously, but you know, it's kind of a, you know, that's like somebody saying, hey, $20 is $20. That's something that's kind of what we call a street joke.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Same kind of thing.
Right.
It's just kind of a cliche that becomes a punchline or a tag that it's like, hey, at what point do you own it? And in comedy, it's really weird. So I don't want to indict the dude. He's nobody. It's inconsequential. The problem is the reason I speak up about it and post it is somebody goes, who cares? Let the dude do the joke. You know, it's on Kill Tony. He's nobody. The problem is this, is that if it goes viral and 700,000 people saw that episode of Kill Tony, is that when I go on tour and do that joke, people are going to think I stole it from him. And that's what can't happen.
And you go on tour.
And I do go on tour.
And he doesn't go on tour.
Correct.
So another comedian, I'm not going to say who, from Houston, Texas, who used to be a friend of ours but got mad because we have a big show coming up at the House of Blues, and he was mad that it was political. He stole that joke from you, and he turned it into
A flip,
now,
you know.
You can't say retard, now you have to call them Republicans.
Something similar, yeah. And there's a lot of people who do, you know, the inverse of a joke and
the N-word?
Inverse.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Okay, I was gonna say.
I don't do N-word jokes, Skinny. I don't do those.
Thank God.
Yeah, I never say the N-word if there's an N-word around me.
Smart.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that. That's not good.
Most people use the same rule.
I would agree. Don't do that.
It's a universal principle.
That is a smart rule to have. Don't call people names. Quickly moving off this topic, don't we have a thing coming up here on Thursday of next week at a casino?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, we've got Couples Therapy, a relationship comedy show at the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. If anybody in Baton Rouge hears this, guys, Thursday night, me and Kenny Webster are going to be doing a comedy show at the Queen Casino, 8 p.m. Come on out. Show's over at 9:30. You can be home and in bed watching Golden Girls by 10 or MASH or whatever you guys watch.
Nice.
Yeah, we know our demo.
And who's this guy right here that's hosting the event for us on Thursday night?
The legendary, gets the smallest picture on the flyer. Steve Johnson is going to be in the house on the stage at the Queen Casino Thursday night in Baton Rouge. Guys, come on out. This is going to be a show you do not want to miss. Relationship comedy show where me and Kenny take our expert love advice and we share it with you in a very funny way. It's an interactive show where you guys get to engage with us and ask us questions. It's a hilarious show. The show's never not been amazing. So come on out Thursday night. And if you're Friday and Saturday in the Metairie area or in the New Orleans area, we're going to be at the Cork Wine and Martini Bar doing the right side of comedy. Very controversial, very polarizing show. The show's been canceled all across the country, but me and Kenny are going to be doing the right side of comedy, our Gulf of America 2026 tour at the Cork Wine and Martini Bar in Metairie. Guys, this show is diabolical. This is where Kenny gets to say all the things he's not allowed to say on the radio and on his podcast. He gets to say it live on stage for those that come out. Every time we've been there, we've sold the show out. We added more shows. We're going to be there this Friday and Saturday, March 26th and 27th. Shows are at 7 p.m. Get tickets now, jesseisfunny.com, or anywhere you see Kenny Webster's page and bio. All of these tickets are available. Come see us. These shows are going to sell out. They only hold 100 people. You don't want to miss it.
Let's go. Absolutely. All right, tickets available for that. We're going back on the radio right now. We got one more segment to do. Stand by, everybody. Watch your potty mouth. Watch your language, people. There's women watching this. Hold on a minute. A Pokemon-shaped Cheeto just sold at auction for over $87,000. Now, normally, spending that much on something made from food would seem like a waste. But because it's a Cheeto, I think it'll last forever. I mean, that's just a smart investment, you know? It's never going to... RFK Jr. is furious about this. He hates this joke. He doesn't think it's funny at all.
Yeah, and I started doing the keto diet, but I gained weight. I mean, I did all the ketos. I did flaming hot ketos, keto puffs. You know, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it didn't work, apparently.
Work.
Keto is a scam. Jesse, speaking of things that are scams, let me put something on the screen here for you. Did you have money invested in Meta this week? Is that the metaverse is going away. Facebook changed their name to Meta a few years back. Do you remember that?
I do.
And with that, they announced the metaverse. And after investing $80 billion into this project, it is going away in June. Mark Zuckerberg renamed Facebook Meta in 2021. He described the metaverse as the next frontier, and now it no longer exists. And this is we have a picture of it on the screen here of what it looked like. This, to me, looks like video games in the late 90s. It looks like something for your, like, Nintendo 64 or whatever.
Right.
It looks like complete crap.
It does.
And it makes Mark Zuckerberg look a little mo.
He does. He looks very chemo.
Yeah, it looks very chemo. That's exactly right. The metaverse was a 5-year experiment conducted by Harvard University for the purpose of transferring wealth from Meta shareholders to employees who pretended it was fun to go to meetings in a VR headset. We thank you for your participation, said one reviewer. Hard to believe no one wanted to go to a fake virtual world where they had creepy cat officers. Oh, by the way, they had creepy cat officers. Take a gander at this, Jesse. Apparently, the metaverse already has a police department, or they did, and it was made up entirely of female human-cat hybrids, and that didn't make it. People didn't want to get arrested by a girl cop that was also a cat.
Yeah, the metaverse can't exist now that Minnesota's real.
Yeah, what would be the point of that? And it actually gets much worse than this. Moving onward here. Meta hired a Kenyan firm to review all the photos and videos people were taking from their AI glasses. So if you didn't want Kenyan people to see you walking around naked, don't get the Meta glasses, apparently. I don't know. That's what I took from that.
That's why I want to go on the metaverse and work for ICE.
That would
get out of here, you fake cat cop.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. They did actually have some very bizarre things, including immigration. They had immigration there. They had a metaverse holding virtual picnics at a beach that looked like a soul-crushingly depressing experience. You'd probably want to kill yourself if you got stuck on this island. Somebody got, if I'm not mistaken, McDonald's had a restaurant. You couldn't eat real food there, but you could pretend to order food at McDonald's. I don't know why that was fun for people.
Oh, nice.
I guess it was, and it went away.
It's the porn for food.
There was also a fake Walmart. If you wanted to pretend to shop at Walmart, that was part of the metaverse. As you can
Great. Looks like you need a good wine pairing. Take a look to your right.
So
your age has already been pre-verified through your profile, so no need to wait for an ID check.
So you could
Just place
pretend
the item in your cart whenever you're ready.
you could pretend to shop in the metaverse, and then they'd mail the stuff to you, I guess. I'm assuming. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
That seems pretty bleak to me. And then, let's see. The European Union spent $400,000 on a metaverse party, and only 6 people attended it. And I think that was more on the European Union than it was on the metaverse. People hate the European Union. Like, why would you want to go there? Now, you mentioned doing things that were controversial in the metaverse. People did. Apparently, people got sexually assaulted. One person claims a metaverse character raped them on Mark Zuckerberg's new platform. For some reason, he's holding a bowling pin.
That's hilarious.
I'm not going to try to explain it because we're on the radio. But yeah, and he looks like one of the guys from LMFAO. Do you remember that?
He does. For real.
You're getting sexually assaulted with a bowling pin by one of the guys from a...
He forced me to touch his pixel.
That was pretty much what happened. Anyway, it's gone now. You can't metaverse anymore. So gone are the days. It's like AOL Instant Messenger. We'll dream about what it used to be like. Oh, China was using the metaverse to build a giant communist indoctrination camp. But don't worry, that was our money I think they were spending, so it wasn't a bad investment there. Anyway, rest in peace, metaverse. Will you miss it? What was your dream? What was your favorite metaverse memory, Jesse?
I made my avatar for Facebook look like Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow.
Yeah, pink Scully and everything, big afro. Yeah, I look like Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57.
All right, before we get out of here, do you know what Taylor Swift math is, Jesse? Did you get what that is? It's when someone says, oh, there were 2 cars on the road and it was 5 o'clock. And then Taylor released her album at 9 p.m. And that was the same. If you turn the numbers into letters, it spells out the name of her ex-boyfriend. And have you ever heard Taylor Swift fans do this before?
She doesn't seem that deep to me.
No, she's not. But her fans always find coded messages where they don't exist. Well, something like this just happened in a courtroom, apparently. There was a young man, and he's been accused of murder. And this young man's name is, I want to make sure I get it right, Tremonte Terrell Gibson. And wouldn't you like to know the story of Tremonte? Well, he was accused of committing a mass shooting on Riviera Beach, in Florida, on March 6th. He reportedly got into an argument with his cousin at an apartment complex on, shockingly, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And on
well.
And one guy named John Halliburton's dead. Now, I think that's the guy who brought him the gun. He claims at some point after getting into an argument that he saw God or the devil. He explains it not very articulately in this video. And in this video, as he's in court explaining this to a judge, his lawyer fervently tries to shut him up. He says, you're confessing to a murder right now. And he goes, no, I'm not. I'm not actually.
I shot every one of them people in their head. They're not making it back.
I shot every person in their head.
That dude that hit the floor, oh yeah, he died. A lot of people were shot in the head, sir, and went back up right in front of my face. The people that were supposedly killed, they didn't die, and nobody died, obviously, right?
They didn't die, he says. And he says one person died.
How can you put someone in jail?
I'm going to pause it right here. He's saying that no one died. And the judge goes, no, someone died. He goes, nobody died. And he's like, no, they
Not
didn't.
only am I a murderer, I'm also a forensic expert.
So he's charged with homicide and attempted murder and then also carjacking because after all this was done, he decided to wrap up his fun day with stealing a vehicle.
Fight something that you can't see. When I was on the highway driving, It's 3 cars. What's the devil's number?
6.
6, right?
6, yeah.
It's 3 cars that pop up. 1, 2, 3. I shot every one of them people. Nah, shut up, man. Let me talk. I can't talk to the judge, bro.
He's telling his lawyer not to shut him up. He's explaining to him there was a sign from the devil. I had to shoot them. And the lawyer is saying, you are confessing to a murder right now, young man.
I'm not a legal expert, but I did watch every episode of Boston Legal.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So I think
More than him.
I think I'm qualified to say this. I'm not a strategist in the court of law, but I don't think looking at the judge and starting your statement with "I shot all of them in the head" is a very sound legal advice.
I guess if you're going for an insanity plea, I don't know what else. Anyway, here's a little more of this.
I'm talking what I can, what my heart need to tell whoever listening, bro. Okay, let me talk. Okay, I don't even need you, sir.
I don't need you.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I do not need you.
He's firing his lawyer.
Please, I don't need. Can you please tell him shut up, Judge? Please. I can't even talk. He's not even. Thank you, sir. I'm fighting something I can't even see. I see it at night. I see it now looking at you.
I believe him. I believe this guy says he saw the devil and it caused him to murder people. I believe him. I don't think that should be a good defense for a crime, though.
I mean, I think he's seeing the same people Juicy Smollett saw. They look similar.
Well, apparently this was MAGA country, I'm told.
Oh, absolutely. They did it, yes.
All right, before we run, just a quick reminder, if you just tuning into this, Jesse and I, next Thursday, will be performing with Steve Johnson at the Queen Casino in downtown Baton Rouge. Apparently, everybody from Governor Jeff Landry's office is going to be coming out. We got them. A whole bunch of them are going to be partying with us that night. A lot of movers and shit. I am not making that up, guys. Come out to this comedy show. You will meet the Governor Jeff Landry team hanging out in attendance.
And Kenny and Steve and Jesse. You guys, this is going to be a great show. If you're in Baton Rouge Thursday night, come see us. Couples Therapy, relationship comedy show. Guys, this show is a hit. It's interactive. You get to engage with us, ask us questions. It's so much fun. And then the next night, we're going to be in Metairie, Friday and Saturday, March 27th and 8th, at the Cork Wine and Martini Bar. So if you're in Metairie, this is the right side of comedy. Guys, this show's been canceled all across the country, but they're letting us do it in Metairie. So y'all come see us if you're in that area.
It's going to be a ton of fun. Last time we were in Metairie, we sold out. I'm hoping we do it again this time as well. We hope to see all you guys there. I love you all. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you bought a radio for. Actually, before I say that, can I just address a few of the comments real quick? We have a few. Not a lot of people have been leaving comments during this, but we have a few hundred people watching on various platforms. Drew said, this is funny. I think he was responding to the Afro Man thing. Yeah. Lightfoot said, don't forget about Billy Ed and the guys. They're going to be there. Jack Mackerel on Rumble says, the only punch Jesse could take is to his chocolate starfish.
True.
He was talking earlier about your prison experience.
That's funny. His name is Jack Mackerel, and that's a can you can order in the prison commissary is Jack Mac. So
is that true?
Yeah. And I feel like I feel like this guy might know me.
What is a can of Jack Mac? What is
it's
that?
Canned mackerel. It's like tuna fish, but it's the mackerel fillets that they put in a can.
Wow, I'm beginning to think prison isn't very good.
It's not. Yeah.
All right, we got to run. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you bought a radio for. Have a great day.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to this show.